Welcome back, Highland Game throwers. I'm Adrienne Wilson. I'm going to go over the open stone. Now, the open stone is just a progression from our Braemar stone, which is just a standing put where your feet are stationary. You place the heavy stone up against your neck. With one hand, you're going to push it out for distance. We're going to move on to the open stone. The open stone now is a little bit more like the shot put that you would see in the Olympic Games. It's a little lighter stone. For the women, it is at least 8 pounds, usually to about 12 pounds. And for the men, it's at least 16 pounds, and it can be as heavy as they want. But most of the time, it doesn't go heavier than 18 or 20 pounds. We're gonna need some stuff. We need a place to throw. I came out to an open field at the high school, so I can either throw off the grass or the asphalt if we were not too confident in the grass. Next, we're gonna need some stones. I have 2 stones here. One is about 8 pounds. The other one is about 11. I like having a little variety when I'm gonna throw. Next, I like having a little wrist support. So I have one of those fancy smancy wrist wraps you have for the bench press. That works just well. So what do I wear? I'm wearing an assortment of shoes. So I have just regular tennis shoes. I have some other tennis shoes that are pretty flat on the bottom. I think they're actually for running, but I don't do that. So we also have some old softball shoes. These are Tennells. I don't know if you can actually find these anymore, but you can see there's just a little bit of a spike on the bottom, and it's in a circular pattern, which I guess is handy. And then we have our track and field shoes. These are completely flat on the bottom for the rotation. It just depends on what kind of thrower you are, and that's a personal preference on what kind of shoes you like to wear. I have an assortment just because I like having a lot of stuff. Next up, I have some chalk here. We'll use that in case it gets really sweaty out here, which is more than likely going to happen. And I do wear a weight belt because I've been doing this a long time and my back gets angry. As a reminder, I like to start with a couple of stand throws before I get to the open stone. And it's just our Braemar toss, but now we have a little lighter stone. It's a little easier. So if you have a line on asphalt turf or out somewhere, it's nice to have just to line up. I'll take my left toe as a right-handed thrower and my right heel, so I'm a little staggered. Just a little wider than my hips. I'm gonna place the heavier stone up against my neck, press hard into the neck so the elbow stays high, but I'm gonna pull the shoulder blade back to lock in the arm. So I'm gonna make sure this is all secure up here so there's no dropping of the elbow. So push hard into the neck, pull the shoulder blade back, and you should be ready to roll. I'm going to shift on over to my right side, close everything up, right toe, right knee, right hip. So the open stone is just a progression from our Braemar standing throw into the full throw. Now the trig itself is 4 foot 6 inches by 7 foot 6. So it's a nice long rectangle, and you have to stay within that box. Now you are allowed to have 1 foot outside the box and 1 foot inside the box to be a fair throw, but we'll get to that later. Basically we have what's called a glide or a rotational throw. As a beginner, I like to suggest just a shuffle. And what you're gonna do, here's the front of the trig and we're throwing in that direction. You're gonna walk to the back of that 7 foot 6 line and place a stone up against the neck. You're gonna bow over top of your right leg, and you're just gonna shuffle. So you're gonna take a little transfer into the left foot, to the right, and back down to the left, keeping your shoulders back, stone back against the hip here, and then you're going to throw your power position throw. Now it gets a little bit faster than that, so you're gonna load it up, left, turn and throw. It's just a nice, easy way, almost like a drill, just to get the body moving, get into the momentum, into the direction of the throw. So that's the shuffle. Super easy. I'll do one for you. Approximately 7 foot 6. Gonna load it up. Heavy on this right side. I'm gonna transfer into my left, right, left. Turn and throw. Now the goal is to get this lower body to turn and then extend into the throw. So you have a lot of leg drive. Some people use a lot of arm and shove it away, but we want to really make sure that we get the hips involved with the throw. The next variation on the glide is your traditional glide. And what you're gonna do is still gonna stay in the back of the trig, So I'm gonna walk it out to the back of that line, toe up against the line, load up the stone. But this is just one big push into your power position. So I'm gonna load it up, hinge on my right side, making sure I'm putting a lot of body pressure, body weight on this back foot. Super key here. Make sure you're still pulling that shoulder blade back so the arm doesn't get droopy. Now sometimes those stones are really big. Sometimes you have to support it with the elbow underneath. But do your best to lock it in. Now what you're gonna do, keeping the shoulders square, you're gonna lift the left foot. You're gonna start to sit and gather so it comes knee to knee. And then you're gonna start to unseat the hips towards the direction of the throw. Now this is just gonna create some momentum into the direction of the throw. So we're gonna push hard off this right foot, pull it under you, and land in power position. All happens pretty quickly. So I'm going to lift it up, I'm gonna gather it, push, pull. So I landed in my power position. Here I am, I'm still heel to toe. I'm a little sit, little shift, little flip on over. The goal is to get as much power into this power position here as possible so that we can translate into the throw. So the traditional glide kind of looks like this. And tee it up, gather knee to knee, push, pull. Sort of like that. And so that was the traditional glide. I actually do something a little bit different. It's called dynamic glide, where I start with both feet in the back of the trig. Still the same big push, it just looks a little different from the start. And I started doing this as a drill and it turned out to be a lot better for me. So I start 2 feet in the back. And I just like it a lot better. So I'll use the heavy stone for majority of my throws until it's time to go to the lighter stone. Now again, this is the 8-pound stone. I love this stone because it goes farther, but it's also a good time to work on the arm strike. Now again, with the power position, it's real important to make sure you keep the wrist in front of the elbow. Anytime the elbow drops, you try to push it up this way, it changes the direction of the throw and it's not gonna have as much power through the strike. I feel like I get a lot of my throw from the extension, from the strike of the arm. Well, that just comes with a lot of patience too. So lighter stone, a lot more fun. Should be a lot faster. There's one more technique in the open stone that you might see with some of the higher level throwers using. It's the rotation. So if you have any background in track and field, in the shot put, in the back of the circle, you'll see some athletes rotating to get into their power position. I've tried it. I'm not very good at it. I'm a much better glider than I am a rotational, but I do know the principles. If we're gonna do the full throw, we're gonna start with both feet in the back of the trig, facing away from your sector. Still gonna load up the stone. You're gonna wind it up, and we're gonna rotate on this left toe. That's why it's really important to have the right kind of shoes in the grass. On the asphalt, it's not so bad, but in the grass, it's really tough to turn, so you gotta find the right shoes. I'm gonna wind it up. I'm gonna try and keep my left thumb in front of my chin as I start to rotate and push off this right side. Rotate and push. I'm gonna get this right foot to the center, still facing the sector though. So try not to open up here. Still facing the sector. I'm gonna continue turning on my right toe into my power position. Still heavy on this right side. Same power position I got into in the glide, but now I'm rotating into it. Shoulders are back, left thumb is still in front of the chin. And then I follow through. See, it looks really pretty when I do it that way, but as soon as I put the stone in my hand, not so good. So again, you're gonna wind it up, rotate, jump, turn, and throw. It's gonna be interesting. Ready? Oh gosh. Ah! I like the glide a lot better. But there's something also called the South African, which a lot of throwers will do. It just takes out that last turn, or the first turn out of the back. So I'll start with 1 foot in, 1 foot out of our imaginary trig, facing the sector. Load it up. Still jump to the center, into the power position, and then throw. This will be also interesting. Well, that's kind of the rotation. So again, I'm a glider. It's good to know both ways, but find what works for you. Thank you so much for checking out my open stone video. I hope that you have found some of it helpful, and I got a good workout out of it too. Lots of throws for me. So thank you so much for checking it out, and good luck to you in your throws.